and welcome to another adventure with the traveling bee. We'd be taking a look at some beautiful views of the Kaua'I shoreline. Welcome to Kaua'I, where we even have cacti. And isn't it beautiful? Oh look, we have I believe it's a diving excursion boat out here on the waters today. And we got about 1 to 3, maybe some 4-footers. It's a little bit rough from the aftermath of the storms. Taking a look at some beautiful views of the Kaua'I shoreline. And we have panini, which is cactus or cacti here in the island, which will grow a nice red pear. And since we're on the south side of the island, you can find some extremely large cacti here, and all the way even down to the west side of the island. So the leeward side of the island has a lot of large cacti with the fruit that was eaten. Everything here is a resource. Whatever you can use for the basic essentials or necessities of life was important. Since it's winter time in the Hawaiian Islands, that means our north and west shores usually see some high waves and surf. South Shore and East Shores are usually not the place you want to go surf, but they are some good swimming places if the water is calm. Now, Kaua'I is anywhere from 4.5 to 5 million years old. It is the oldest of the 8 major Hawaiian islands. And it is the 4th largest in size. Mostly what you're looking at here is basalt rock. And if I zoom in a little closer to the shoreline and where the waves are breaking over there, You might see what looks like a green carpet or a red carpet on some of the rocks. And that's limu. That's seaweed. And there are various and numerous types of seaweeds. And we use those in foods. The purple and pink limu we like to use in the poke, which is a Hawaiian delicacy of chopped up or chunked up pieces of fish mixed in with maybe some modern or introduced food such as scallions, onions, Hawaiian chili pepper, and of course shoyu or soy sauce. But we use a lot of seaweed or limu in many of our raw fish dishes, high in iron. And even though it is supposed to be a somewhat of a less wavy side of the island, we just did get over some storm. Now normally you should not walk out on these rocks because, as you can see, even though you know we don't have the 10-foot waves, we do have a strong riptide or current here. And even if you're on these black beautiful basalt rocks, it's sometimes unsafe because you have large waves that come up and they can literally knock you off your feet and drag you into the sea. I do see that there are some tide pools over here. So I'm going to, the best of my ability with my skills and endurance. Oh, I just saw a pa'o. Let's see who is visiting our tide pools today. Who do we have in the tide pool? And because we are on the south side of one of the oldest of the 8 major Hawaiian islands, the south side of islands, because of erosion and because the Pacific plate that the Hawaiian Islands is located on, it's moving in a northwest direction. Now because of that, your east and south shores, your south shores in particular, are the first shores that would develop the coral reefs. Your west side and of course our east side of the island has nothing between it and the coast of California and the rest of the west coast of the Americas. And we see a flock of seabirds out there, which seem to either be the shearwaters or the Eva birds. Must be feeding time. There must be a Kaua'I out there, which means a school of fish. Okay, and just over there is looking west out towards Koloa Landing. It seems to me that it might be maybe low tide, even though there's a strong tide rip current. And even within these tide pools that are a little stagnant when the water isn't splashing up here, you have many little sea animals living in and between the crevices of the rocks. And let me just see if I can focus on this little guppy looking fish swimming around. Ha'o'o is a fish that comes up onto the rocks on the reef and hangs. And they're very, not popular, I shouldn't say popular, but they are used in songs. They are known for living on these islands in this type of environment. And they are used in some of the Hawaiian poetry and mele, or songs. And you can see it's just a beautiful afternoon. Beautiful. Kaua'I, the beautiful clouds that are just hanging above the ocean there, little white puffy clouds. And as you can see, it might be a baby's first luau right here. This is the famous Poipu Beach Park. And we are approaching the section known as Breniki's Beach, or the baby beach. We've had a lot of surf action in this little cove area. Now you want to make sure you get here early, kids, because this place fills up fast. Oh, we have a red flag out today, or the orange flags, okay, which indicates a strong current. Strong current. But this is the place to take your town and country boogie board. Catch a wave. So you're sitting on top of the world. See the kids have a good time. There you go. And because this is the south side where we have most of the reef, you're going to see a lot of turtles, especially during low tide. They like to come in and feed. And this is the famous Hale'ihonu site where the honu like to come to eat. This is what we call a strong riptide. Oh boy, we got some waves coming in. This looks like perfect for boogie boarders. Your host is a boogie boarder. We'd be liking to surf. You can see the basalt rock here. You know, being on one of the oldest islands before you hit the further frigate islands, shoals, and the atolls going more towards the north of Alaska. We are an old island, so as you can see, this is the coral reef area. The honu, or the turtles, like to come and hang in this cove so that they can eat during low tide, and they like to surf during high tide.
If you're enjoying the virtual vacations with me, the Traveling Bee, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave me a question or comment. I want to give you all a big mahalo nui loa for joining me, the Traveling Bee, for another exciting adventure. Until we meet again, ahui ho and aloha.